The beautiful voice of the Hotakara woman was not heard this morning. What could be the cause? This woman, who usually woke up by 6 a.m. to start hawking her Hotakara and pap, was still not heard by 10 a.m. That question, what could be the cause, lingered in the minds of families who had been expecting to eat her Hotakara and pap that morning. Most of them had to find something else to eat. This woman, Ayirajuni, as she was fondly called, was in her mid-60s. She had grown to be loved by many of the villagers for her sweet akara and pap, which refreshed them every morning. People went to their farms and places of work, believing that perhaps Ayirajuni was simply tired and had decided to rest for a day. At their workplaces, some of them still spoke about her absence that morning. "Oh, what a famous woman," they said. "Truly, the work of a person makes them known." The next day, people woke up expecting the familiar morning cry of Ayirajuni hawking her sweet akara and pap. Some of them even sat outside in front of their houses, plates in hand, waiting for this woman Ayirajuni. But they waited and still could not hear that sweet voice calling, "Buy your Hotakara and pap, and your day will be blessed." After a while, most of them went back inside to prepare for the day's work. Yet one question remained on everyone's lips: where is Ayirajuni? The third day was just like the second. They sat down expecting Ayirajuni, but no one heard her voice. After 10 days of waiting without seeing her hawk or move around the village, the people began to suspect something was wrong. They knew that even if she had travelled, she should have been back by now. The villagers became worried. Their taste buds yearned for her Hotakara and pap, but the woman who sold them was nowhere to be found. They decided to conduct a search. But then they realized no one knew where she lived. Yes, no one. They had only taken her delicious delicacy day after day, but never cared to ask where she stayed. The villagers, young and old, began to search for her, but it was as if she had never truly existed in their village. They went from house to house, looking for her, but she was not found. After searching everywhere, they turned to the forest. If they could not find her there, then perhaps she had abandoned them, leaving their village to sell to another. They searched from farm to farm, from forest to forest, but still they did not find her. Just when they were about to give up, they entered a forest far from the village. There, a young man saw a heavy load of firewood lying by a tree. He wanted to take it home for cooking, but as he drew closer, he perceived a foul odor. He called some of the men, and together they discovered a decayed body. Double quotes, who could this be? They wondered, then one of them recognized the clothes. "I have seen Ayirajuni hawking in these clothes," he said to Dotto. Ayirajuni was dead. She had gone into the distant forest to fetch firewood because the nearby bushes had already been cleared. The remaining wood was either too small, too wet, or rotten. The only good, dry firewood was found far away. And since she has no one to help her, she has gone herself, and due to how heavy it was, she collapsed and died. The whole village burst into tears when they heard the news. Oh, what a tragedy! For a whole week they mourned her. They were pained, for they realized they had never truly cared about her. They had only cared about the akara and pap she prepared. They never asked where she lived, or why no one ever hawked with her or helped her. Ayirajuni was gone. They mourned, but they could not turn back the hands of time. Though another woman later started the akara business, people did not patronize her much. For Ayirajuni's akara and pap had been the best and could never be matched. And so it was that when Ayirajuni, the akara woman, was no more, the whole village was shaken. They had eaten her akara, they had drunk her pap, but none had cared to know her story, her family, or even her home. The elders gathered and said, "Let this be a lesson. Do not value people only for what they give you, but also for who they are. For the day their hands can no longer serve, it is the memory of your care that remains. From that day, the villagers learned to greet one another with more warmth, to ask after each other's lives, and to see the person behind the service.